Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am really excited to do this today. For some reason, I've just been putting it off, and I finally just decided to take the leap of faith and go for it. And we are going to make the shrimp tacos I had posted recently on my Facebook regular social media page. It's gonna seem a little daunting, but it's not, and I promise you we'll go step by step. You can feel free to ask me any questions, put a question in the comment, whatever, and I'm more than happy to respond. I like to do things because I love being in the kitchen. I like to do things sometimes that might be a little more time consuming, but I will always give tips on ways to make it a lot quicker for you. For instance, we're going to be making the slaw. You can 100% just buy that prepackaged tricolor slaw mix, the cabbage mix, not the actual one with the packet with it. But you can just buy that, and that'll save you time. I've even done that. I mean, who cares? You're making some beautiful food. So if you are like a million other people out there and just don't have the time to hand cut a bunch of cabbage, then do that. You can also omit anything from this. Like if you have an allergy to mangoes, leave that out of it. If you don't like onions, leave that out of it. If you prefer green onions over red onions, do that instead. My recipes are seriously just a nice little guideline, and I just want to encourage you to be creative and have fun. And I'm all about beautiful food, flavorful food. Nobody wants to eat something that tastes like caca. And I'm just here just to give you a good guideline on something fun to make. If you haven't already, subscribe to this page, because I'm going to be coming up with something hopefully every single week, and at least food wise, and then there's going to be a bunch of different things on here. I'm not just going to do food, but I'll do some other things as well. But today it's all about shrimp tacos. So we're going to do a little bit of a fusion, and I like to add a little bit of an Asian flair when I do the shrimp tacos. You don't have to. I use the liquid aminos in the broth that I'm going to be doing with the coconut milk for making the shrimp, but you can just use soy sauce. You can use regular salt if you want to. If you for some reason have to watch your salt intake, then you can use whatever substitute that you generally use, or don't use any at all. Just remember to balance out your flavors. So the main thing is if you take something away, like something that's usually really needed, which is salt in a recipe, then maybe add a little bit more of the acidity, a little bit more of the lime juice, maybe a little bit more cumin, add some more garlic by all means. We love garlic around here. I love garlic around here. Not everybody else likes it as much as me, but I do. So we have a couple different things that are going to be going on here, and that's how I cook. I generally don't measure, so I'm going to do my best to tell you what measurements to use, and I whirlwind in the kitchen. So, and you might hear Dexter in the background. Natalie's gonna be coming home from school on cue. Thanks, Dexter. You'll see Dexter as well, because he's part of the family. So I actually want to get if you're an animal lover, just gotta let it go. I want to get the potatoes going, and because those take a hot minute to cook, and we're going to get those started. I'm going to use probably about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in a hot pan, and then I'm going to dice up. I've just got 4 small of the yellow golden potatoes. Hi Natalie, I'm making my video. Everybody say hi to Natalie. Anyway, 4 of these small golden potatoes that I'm going to be using. And you don't want to pop your head in here? Yeah. There's Natalie. So I'm going to put those on the stove on a medium heat, and with about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. So I'm gonna cut these up probably in nice little, like small cube sizes because they're gonna go on your tacos. So I cut like this little guy in half, and then I'm just gonna cut it. So probably about, we might even go smaller than that. I'd say about 1/4 inch little cubes if you can. Okay, so this actually, those 4 little potatoes, so this is about 3 cups of diced potatoes, okay? And that oil that I put on a second ago should be nice and warm. So I'm just gonna add this. I'm gonna just add a couple little shakes of salt to that too, just because it helps to get those potatoes going. Okay, so next up, now that those are going, I just wanna say, I like to have a garbage bowl on hand. Sometimes if it's just not a bunch of stuff happening, I'll just bring out the garbage and use that. But for this situation, because we're gonna have a bunch of different things, I just like to have a big garbage bowl on hand. It's something I learned a long time ago from a really famous chef. I'm sure you all know who she is, but if you don't, she has her first name begins with an R and her last name begins with an R. Okay, and Dexter likes her dog food. Okay, so garbage bowl, and then we are going to, I had a jalapeno. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, there's like a random jalapeno somewhere probably in my house right now. I probably was walking around with it. So I'm gonna grab another one. Okay, so we are gonna get the slaw going, and the slaw is gonna consist of cabbage. I'm actually gonna put the corn in the slaw this time. Last time I added the corn to the potatoes, but I don't want to do that. I want the corn in the slaw. I felt like the corn and the potatoes just got lost in there. So so slaw is gonna be cabbage. We're gonna add some just a couple of peppers, orange and a red one. I like it a little spicy, and I might add some jalapeno to this, but I don't know. Everybody here doesn't like spice, so I have to really watch it. I might just put it on the side for mine. But we've got cabbage, corn, some mango, and I do have fresh mango, but I also have some frozen mango, and I thought, well, we'll try this out. So that's another little shortcut you can do. And I'm gonna just add one little bit of garlic to that, some red onion, lime juice, probably some cumin, probably a little of this liquid aminos. Okay, so I'm gonna get to chopping. For those of you who don't know me personally, I have a weird issue with pepper seeds. They actually really gross me out. So we won't talk about why. Let's just say I had an incident when I was young, and I've been scarred for life ever since. All right. Now I'm dicing up the mango. I'm sure you can probably figure that out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out some of the red onion, put in there probably about 1/4 of one, a good size one. Make it nice and yum. I want you guys to look and see what a beautiful bowl this is. It's so colorful. Wow, I can talk. It's so colorful. I love it. So now I'm gonna juice a couple of limes to put in there, and I also have this leftover lime juice. I might just do 1 lime and then do the lime juice in here, because there's gonna be lime juice going into the broth for doing the shrimp too. Okay, we're gonna do about 1/2 cup of corn, I think.
What?
I'm talking to the peeps.
No, what do you mean?
I think. It looks like it. Well, it's hard to read inside of this.
Oh, I can't bite them.
So I'm going to add about a quarter of a teaspoon of cumin. And I just added probably about a teaspoon of the liquid aminos just for a little bit of salt factor. I'm going to add 2. So let's just say half a teaspoon of cumin to that. Okay, now I'm going to chop up a piece of garlic super fine. I do have some garlic in the fridge that's already chopped, but I wanted some fresh stuff. Plus, this garlic needs to get used anyway. So if you're not familiar with garlic in the cloves like this, a really good way to release that flavor is to take your knife and take the fatter end of it. So see how it goes in the point. Take the fatter end, place it on your garlic. And if you feel comfortable enough, just kind of give it a nice little smash and then just chop it up really finely. Yeah, that should do it. You know, I thought I was prepared, but apparently I'm not. I need some tongs. Wow, look how pretty that is. So cabbage is one of those veggies that actually, because you make all sorts of things from it, including sauerkraut and things like that, it breaks down pretty quickly. So I'm just going to leave this. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to leave it, and then I'll assess it before we eat if it needs some more liquid to it. But right now I'm just going to leave it where it's at with the liquid that we already put in there. Okay? Put a cover on it. And because this doesn't have any dairy or anything, it's totally fine to leave out at room temperature. Okay? For now. I'm just realizing I forgot to grate the carrot into it. So we're going to do that really fast. Also, my potatoes are cooking nicely, so I'm going to add probably about half of a teaspoon, well, yeah, of cumin to it. I already added the salt earlier and a little bit of pepper, just a couple shakes. So cumin, and then I'm going to put a cover on it and just continue to just stir them around every so often. I just thought, I bet this looks really crazy because I know for a fact I'm going to be fast forwarding this part. Between the chopping and this, it probably looks like I'm about ready to slice my finger off. I'm a pro, I promise. That is going to be so good. Wow. Now we're moving on to the broth that we're going to be poaching our shrimp in. Okay, for this you want some coconut milk. I've got about 16 ounces of shrimp that we're going to be using. I love coconut milk. I will probably use the majority of this just because I want a really nice full-bodied broth. And this is the organic coconut milk. Don't use coconut cream. That would not be, that's not what you want. You want actual coconut milk in a can. You don't want coconut milk like what you would drink, like coconut water. You don't want that. You want coconut milk. So you can see up at the top here, I'm going to break it, but this is like the full, like just the beautiful part of the milk that's more condensed. And then you just make a mess. You just make a mess is what you do. Okay, so there, I got it out. Boy, it's really in there. And that's why I wear an apron, everybody. It's 100% why I wear a freaking apron. Speaking of aprons, this apron, I wanted to give a shout out. Caitlin, our oldest daughter, Caitlin, one of her very best friends growing up, Mary, started her own company, and she makes clothes and things like that. She just takes fabrics. So she loves to thrift fabrics. She likes to take things like maybe an old sweater and turn it into a dress or whatever. And I had an idea for this apron that I wanted specifically just because I thought it was a super cute thought in my brain for Christmas time. Something other than like a red or a green. And so she made this apron, and I'm sure you've seen it. It just is so adorable, and it ties. I usually have the kind that go like this that are a little more form-fitting, but this is nice. It's roomy, and just slips right over the head. But you should 100% go follow her on her Instagram page. She posts stuff all the time, and it's Made in Mary Designs on Instagram, and she is amazing and super talented, and we love her. And like I said, she's been a friend of our oldest daughter's for a long time, and yeah, she's just really talented. So go give her a like. Go show her some love. Okay, so we are gonna add. So we've got the can of coconut milk in there, and it's 13.5 ounces. And then I'm gonna just add a couple of. I'm not gonna chop it up fine. I'm just gonna add a couple of pieces of garlic into that. And then we are gonna add. I'm gonna just do the rest of this lime juice. I was gonna do a real lime, but I need to use this, and it's here and whatever. So let me tell you how much this is. See, look at me measuring. Super proud of myself. Okay, here's 1 tablespoon. And that's what we're getting, 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon of lime juice. And I decided after I made it the other day, I wanted to add a couple bay leaves to this. So some bay leaves and a little bit of liquid aminos or soy sauce, whatever you want to do. And I think I'm going to leave the cumin out of it for now. I'm going to debate on that later. Also, you'll see I'm really big about cleaning up as I go. This to me is messy in my kitchen. So I know a lot of people would say, no, it's not, it's great, you're fine. But I'm in here all the time for hours on end. So I can't handle any more chaos than I need. So I just kind of pick up after myself as I go along. I'm bagging up the garlic that we didn't use. I've already got this bagged up. So just clean up as you go. Because you know what? It just makes it so much nicer when you're all done and you don't feel like you have to wipe down the kitchen. Let me put this stuff away. Okay, so I'm done with that. I'm going to put this on the stove on like a medium low. So I've actually decided to put a little bit of jalapeno into that broth. Because, let's face it, I'm the one who eats the majority of the seafood around here. And I like heat. I'm going to squeeze this last lime into the broth just because I want to. And I think I think it needs a little bit more lime juice. Okay, so the potatoes are done. And I'm just going to take them off the heat and just put them in a bowl and cover them up because dinner is going to be pretty soon. As soon as that coconut milk broth gets warm, shrimp don't take very long to poach. So I like my corn tortillas a little bit fried, but you can use a flour tortilla. You can use whatever you want. We've got really yummy low carb flour tortillas that are delicious and soft. And but today we're gonna just do a couple corn tortillas, and I'm gonna put probably about a tablespoon or two of oil into a pan, and I'm not turning it on yet, but it eventually will get warm, and then I'll fry up the tortillas for some tacos. That is so good. So I might add a little bit more, just a little bit more liquid aminos to that, but otherwise it's perfect. And I am going to add the shrimp. You're not going to do a whole lot, just add the shrimp into it, and just let it go for a few minutes until the shrimp are cooked. And I think I might take the camera with me just so you can see. We'll see. We'll see how creative I can get. Hey guys. Okay. Okay, so you can see this has got a nice little simmer. I'm gonna kick it back down to, mine goes from low to high. The lowest is low, then 1, and then high. It goes, the highest number is 9, and then the high. So I'm kicking it down to a 2. And then we've got, so I have large peeled, deveined, cleaned shrimp. They did come with the tails on them, so I took the tails off. We're just gonna add that to this broth and just let it go for a couple minutes, okay? And anytime you touch raw seafood, you need to just wash your hands afterwards. Okay, you can see it's already turning, you can see some of them are already turning a little bit of pink. So here's the deal with shrimp. Shrimp is super, super easy to overcook. I can't tell you how many times people overcook shrimp thinking that they're going to undercook the shrimp. More often than not, you're overcooking it. And so you just want to make sure it just takes a couple minutes. So while this is going, I'm going to turn on my heat on my oil. What is that? Oh, I already have it on. Huh. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I'm going to get a plate ready with some paper towels on it for some of the tortillas. And they're coming along. They're almost there. Okay, our shrimp are done. So I'm going to take them out. Put them into a bowl. My oil's heating up right next to me. We're going to fry up some tortillas, and then it's going to be about time to eat, guys. Look how beautiful those are, and it smells amazing. It smells so good in here. I had a candle going earlier just because I know not everybody in this home appreciates the seafood smell, but it doesn't smell like seafood at all. It just smells like this beautiful, delicious, yummy, put me in your mouth food. Okay, listen, that first tortilla kind of sucked, so I don't think my oil was hot enough. I mean, it's going to be edible, but this is just a plain white corn white corn tortilla. The oil's pretty warm now. I'm just cooking it on both sides. Now you can do a tostada. You could just cook it on both sides and just till one side is crisp, the other side is crisp, and you're good to go. I was trying to use the tongs to turn this so I can make it more of like a taco, and tongs just don't work for me. So with that, so I'm just resorting to my good old-fashioned forks to turn them around with. Okay. So see how it's kind of got a nice little bit of more of a golden color to it? That's essentially what you want. This is going to be the inside of the tortilla. So I'm going to cook this side that's down now just a little bit longer, just so it's a little more crisper. We're going to fold it in half and cook it again on each side. You can certainly use already done corn tortillas for regular like tacos. And like I said earlier, you can use flour tortillas. This is just the way that I prefer to eat them. Nice. So I can already feel the texture. You can hear that? A little bit more crisp. See how beautiful that is? Gorgeous. Okay, gonna make a couple more. All right, let's go. Where's the camera? Let's go make some tacos. I decided I want some avocado on mine, so I just got a little bit of avocado, and I'm gonna put it on the side. Just squirt it and all right, so we're gonna assemble. One thing I will say, I am like, my head's cut off here. Okay, we're gonna make our tacos. So one thing I will say about this is, I typically make a really good cilantro lime sauce when I do fish tacos, but because this slaw it's just got a lot going on in it, I'm not going to add the sauce to it. Plus, Natalie doesn't like cilantro. Josh isn't a huge fan. And honestly, I didn't feel like making it, but I will another time. We'll do fish tacos again or shrimp tacos again, and I promise I will. I'll make my sauce and show you how it's done. So this looks pretty good. I was gonna add some more lime juice, and it looks perfect to me. It's not too runny, not too juicy. So the longer that you let it sit, obviously the more moisture that's gonna come out of the fruits and the veggies. The fruit, well, I guess there's a couple in there. And then, but we're just gonna assemble it really quickly. So you've got your potatoes. Just put a couple in the bottom. No big deal. And this you don't use any cheese on here. I know that people like cheese with, like, I've had bacon wrapped shrimp with cheese, and that's pretty good, but regular tacos maybe with cheese, but not this. You don't really need it. So I'm just putting like 3. I'm gonna put 4 because, well, I'll just do 3. 3 on there, and then just a nice little generous helping of your slaw. It's so good. And you can 100% turn this into a bowl too. You can just put layer. I would start with the cabbage if you're gonna do a bowl on the bottom first, kind of like more like a salad, and the potatoes, and then the shrimp, and maybe the avocado on there. But we are gonna, I'm so excited for this. It's gonna be messy as freaking heck, but whatever. Okay. That is so good, you guys. You guys are not going to be disappointed. Okay. Enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it. Share it with your friends. There's going to be plenty more where this came from. Hi, Dexter. And Dexter just came in telling me it's his time to eat. Okay. Well, ta-ta for now. And don't forget to always find your patch of sun. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me.